there is a new trend in divorce, and it promises to minimize the pain. It's called collaborative law, and it's offered in most states around the country. Michelle and Tom Geske turned to collaborative law for their divorce, and Tom's attorney, Catherine Miller, and Michelle's attorney, Neil Kozak, helped them navigate their way. Good morning to all of you this morning.
Good morning.
Now let me go over what collaborative law is, because of course that's causing people to have a question mark in their mind. It's under this law, a divorcing couple and their lawyers act as settlement teams, agreeing from the start they will work out the terms without going to court. Catherine, when you're in pain, when you're divorcing someone, why would you choose this rather than going a traditional way?
Well, and collaborative law is really the greatest thing to happen for divorcing couples in decades. Each person has their own attorney from the very beginning, but the key is that they all four sign a pledge that they will not go to court and not threaten to go to court. So then the couple and their attorneys sit in a series of four-way meetings in order to act as settlement teams, in order to identify, discuss, and creatively resolve the things that are most important for the family.
Which all sounds well and good, but if you're emotional, you're going through a divorce, you're going to be worrying about the risks of taking this step rather than the more traditional steps. So Neil, what are the risks of going the collaborative law route?
There are no real risks, and
loss of control?
Loss of control is the risk of litigation. Litigation can be acrimonious and contentious. And the problem with traditional litigation is you have very little control. The judge controls the process.
Does it cost more?
It costs more most times, yes.
You're saying litigation costs more. So this is a cheaper way to go?
In most cases, yes.
Okay, time. Does it take more time?
It's controlled again by the clients, and the clients want it to be shorter, it's shorter.
Okay, so if you need more negotiation, you're taking more time. What about the emotions? Is it 100%, there's a 100% chance that the emotions will be handled more carefully, or is there not always a guarantee of that?
In court, you have very little opportunity to control emotions. In this process, the emotions are part of the process. I'm not saying it's without emotion, it's with emotion, because like any divorce, it's an emotional context.
Okay, let's talk to two people who've gone through this. Michelle, you have gone through a traditional divorce, and now with Tom, a collaborative law divorce. What is your experience? Why did you decide to go this way this time?
I did some research on the web after meeting with several lawyers looking for a right attorney for myself, and discovered that collaborative law offered me a way to have control of the situation with Tom, that it would be less painful, faster, because we were going to control the outcome. And it's not to say that we were lovey-dovey when we went into this. We were really having tough times.
But you're sitting together now, which is, I think, an indication that maybe it worked out a lot better than one might imagine. Tom, what was your experience?
I felt a lot more in control throughout the process. What I knew about divorce was that I didn't want somebody else to run the show. I knew that there was a reason why I went into relationship. Yet I wanted to keep whatever was left of the relationship as intact as possible.
Did that happen, Michelle?
Yes, it did. It happened. We worked through a lot of tough, thorny issues, and now I'm happy to say we're free of each other.
but also able to sit with each other, which is a huge deal. You also have a child.
Yeah, and
which is the
friends.
biggest major issue regarding that is that, when you've got a child, how you handle, visitation, who sort of, so you just basically sat and talked with your attorneys about that? Is that how that works?
It's really fascinating because one of the reasons why I did this is because each person comes in with their own attorney. The attorney is there to protect you, but they also have agreed with you that the highest purpose of this is to come to a written agreement. And that agreement gets rubber stamped by the court, but they're not really kind of deciding what it is that we want to have occur in that final agreement. And the lawyers kind of put you in place when you are kind of out of control emotionally, or you're being right about something, and they say, wait, you said X, this is what your final decision is.
Isn't this kind of like mediation, though, you guys? I mean, why is this not the same as mediation?
The dynamic in mediation is completely different because mediation, there's one mediator, and that person helps you work through the issues, but is not representing you, is not advising you, is not advocating for you. They're just there to help you identify the issues and work through them. Now, typically, people in mediation will, at some point in the process, consult with outside attorneys, but those attorneys very rarely come into the room for the negotiations themselves. In collaborative law, your attorney is with you all along, right there, every step of the way.
But what if you're having this discussion, Neil, and you cannot come to an agreement on some major issues? I mean, there are divorces that really have ugly, I suppose, reasons for the divorce. Maybe someone's had an affair, or this, in that kind of stuff. They can cause people to not be forgiving, not having an opportunity to really discuss it. I mean, are there times when it just is not going to work to go this route?
There may be a very, very small percentage of cases that wouldn't work. Majority of these cases, 85 to 90% of them, will settle. And even though there are thorny issues to get by, those issues are worked out. The benefit to most collaborative law clients, especially in high net worth clients and high profile clients, is the privacy aspect, because the contentious process of litigation is public. Everything that happens in court is in the public eye, whereas what happens here is much more private.
And ultimately, I think the most important thing, I think most people would agree in a divorce, is that you want the children to be protected.
Absolutely.
You want them to come out okay. I would think that this plan is better for children. Would you say that would be true in your experience, Michelle?
In my case, it was very much the case, because my first divorce was in the court system. It took about 3.5 years, which is a very long time for children to understand what's going on and feel their parents' emotions going back and forth and not see a finish or moving on. In this process, for us, it was much, much faster. And because it seems to be a healthier way emotionally for the adults to handle it when you're in your own home, they don't feel the repercussions the same way. And I've seen the difference in my older children, for sure.
I'm glad for your
Thank you.
family. And Michelle and Tom, thank you so much, because I know you're here really to simply share the good news with any other people who are in pain. Thank you so much, Catherine and Neil. Thank you for being here this morning and donating your time to share this information. And for more information about collaborative law, please go to our website at today.msnbc.com. And we're back after these messages.